Hello, and thank you to everyone who is here tonight. Welcome to Meet Your Mentor Night for our Spring Brown 2025. And we're going to get started very soon here. Just a couple of announcements to begin with. And first of all, I will remind everyone that there is a sign out sheet out the door there. And if you haven't, thank you. And if you haven't already signed up, please do, because those of you that are present tonight have the advantage of being able to choose your first, second, and third choice mentors before those who are watching at home. Just simply the benefit of being here live. And before we begin, there's one more announcement. I want you to concentrate as you're listening to our presentations tonight. And there are seven groups who will be presenting and telling you about their style of photography, when they will meet, all of those things. There are a couple of considerations that you may want to fill in on the sheets that were provided out there. And the first thing is availability. And that's very important because your availability has to coordinate with your mentor's availability. So take note, if they say they're doing Sunday mornings and your Sunday mornings are not free, then obviously that would not be a good selection for you. The second consideration is location. CPS draws people from west side of Cleveland, east side, even as far as Akron, I've heard. So with that, what you need to do is also make sure that the location where they're going to be shooting is convenient for you, and that is not a barrier to your participation. And then lastly, the type of photography they do. You know, I've looked through, and we have a couple of people that are going to kind of focus on a different certain genre of photography. And if that's something that interests you, then you should definitely sign up for them. And there are others who are more generalists and will take your lead, you know, because you have a particular interest in shooting something. So whatever the case might be, again, keep in mind availability, location, and the type of photography that you are interested in pursuing in your photographic journey. So with that said, let's begin. Our first presentation tonight is Chris Bosworth, and let's give him a hand.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're starting actually at the beginning, and the reason I say that is you'll hear all the other mentors say what category you're looking for. Are you looking for something like really extreme? I want to learn to do focus stacking or whatever. So because of the privilege of having helped fundamentals classes over the years, I've come to recognize that coming out of fundamentals, a lot of people aren't quite there where they'd like to be. They might understand the basic exposure triangle, which you really all should, but I consider myself a beginner mentor to get you started to where you get up to the point where you're comfortable shooting. As far as cameras go, let me see if I'm okay. Ta-da. Ta-da. Is that mine? I guess that is mine. Is that mine? I don't know. I've done so many. It's not clicking anymore. That's better. Now you don't have to look at me. Yeah, it's not forwarding. Can you forward it? See if it'll forward there. Yeah, I think these are mine. they should. Yeah, it's your fault if they're not. So I can't tell you how many people I take, but it's a limited number, and I generally will mentor with you one-on-one. I'm not going to start until probably later in the month for a couple reasons. My schedule's kind of slammed right now, and I'd like to see the weather get a little bit better because to me, I don't like to shoot if I'm uncomfortable. I'm a West Sider, so we're generally going to go to, I like the metro parks. We'll go to the metro parks. Usually I go about 2 hours per session, a one-on-one. This is mine. I guess this is mine. I try to get in the last couple of times I've mentored, we've gotten a night shoot in. I don't promise that, but if at all possible, we'll do that because it's just another great way to shoot. And we've got, a lot of opportunities to do that. I think I said I'm a West Sider. So my main times that we'll be meeting are going to be daytimes in the week. So that'll probably limit a lot of you. Fundamentals starts this Saturday, so my Saturdays are gone for the next 6 weeks. Sundays are out for me for other reasons. So you'd have to be planning on a weekday. I'll even get up early if you're an early bird. I'm usually, because of the club, going to have to be done by 5 or so. I can shoot Sony, Canon, Fuji. If you know the basics of your Nikon, I can help you with that. I think I said I'm a West Sider, but I will go. I mean, like if you've got a, a cool place that's reasonably close, not Tallahassee or something, we can go there together too. For me, don't expect to see a lot of really cool shooting. I mean, these are the best of my best that I'm showing. I guess that's fine. I hope these are my pictures. Oh, I'm not Marge. So I don't know if I've answered everybody's questions, if I've covered all the bases, but so don't expect to get a lot of really cool glitzy shots. It's more about this is how you shoot in this situation. These are the settings I would use. I make suggestions for you. You don't need anything special except we'll be shooting some things you'll need a tripod for. If you have a cable release, you can use it, but the things we'll be shooting, you could use a self-timer on the camera. No other special equipment needed. Any questions? Did I cover everybody's wanting to know who I am and what I'm doing? Okay. Marge.
Okay, because I saw several more people come in before Marge speaks, for those of you that did just walk in, there is a sign-up sheet, and how many of you did not sign in yet? Because I can go get it and bring it to you. Everybody has? All right, perfect. All right, our next presentation is Marge Brady.
Hello. So I am looking for a few good souls who want to learn the beautiful art of flower photography. My name is Marge Brady. I've been a member of the club since 2019, and I'm currently the chairperson of the bee competition. I live on the west side of Cleveland in the West Park area, which is right on the Lakewood Rocky River border. And I'm right off of McKinley or Warren Road from the I-90 exit. My passion is flower photography. To me, flowers are all little people with faces, and they all have personalities. And I hope to help you capture that in your photos. So what we're going to do, hopefully, is meet on Monday mornings. I'm a retired nurse, but somehow I wound up with 2 part-time jobs after I retired. So Mondays are the best days for me. I have some flexibility with my jobs, but we're very, very busy during the summer. So I'm planning on meeting on Monday mornings. And I'd also like to do a Zoom review probably on a Thursday or a Wednesday evening where we can just kind of meet together, go over photos, and I can give you some editing tips. I'm a Nikon user, and I am the most mechanically declined person on the face of the earth. So I know how to use my camera, but I can't tell you that I would be able to help you figure out your camera. So it's really essential that you know your settings, your ISO, shutter speed, f-stop, and also how to set live view on your camera. So if you can look at your manuals and figure that out, that would be perfect. I use just a regular Nikon camera, a D7500, and my favorite lenses for flower photography are, excuse me, my Tamron 18-400. That is my go-to lens. I use that for everything. And no, you don't have to have a macro lens to do great flower photography. I also do have a Sigma 105 millimeter macro and a 24-70 millimeter, and I love Lens Babies. So the Lens Baby Velvet 56 is my favorite. Oops, I forgot to do this. So, what I hope to do is teach you how to do really great flower photography using a tripod and without a tripod. So, there are photographers that would never think of taking a picture of a flower without a tripod, like Mike Moats won't go anywhere where he can't travel with his tripod. But two of the best lady flower photographers in the US, Kathleen Clemens and Jackie Kramer, never use a tripod, and their photos are award winning photos. So I use Lightroom for editing. I also use Topaz and Perfect Photo Pro. If you need help with Photoshop, I am not your person. Photoshop gives me hives. And I have flunked out of the class like 3 times now, but I do love Lightroom, and I know enough about it to help you do some really pretty editing with your pictures. I'd like to go to locations such as the Miller Nature Preserve in Avon. This is free, and they have beautiful flowers. They also have a butterfly house that opens after Memorial Day that is free to go to. Rockefeller Gardens in University Circle is a beautiful place to go, particularly on a rainy day. That is also free. And there is a wonderful place in Strongsville called the Strongsville Horticultural Center. They're located on Pearl Road. I think they're the best kept secret in the world. And their entry is $5, or you can get a membership for $25. And we could also go to the Cleveland Botanical Garden or the Holden Arboretum. Holden's, pretty far out, but they do have pretty outside flowers, the Cleveland Botanical Garden, but of course there's an entry fee for that. And if anybody is interested, we could take a far away field trip to the Franklin Conservatory or in Columbus, or the Phipps Conservatory in Pittsburgh, which has just been named one of the 10 best gardens in the United States. I love going there. Also, I'd like to do some tabletop flower setups with you using different backgrounds. And we can actually do that at my house if people don't mind coming over to my house. We'll go outside under my patio umbrella and do some setups. So what you need to bring. Oh, also I wanted to say I have 2 strict rules. One is no cell phone use unless it's an emergency, and absolutely no smoking when you're with me. I do have back issues, and a lot of times I use a rollator, which helps me to sit when I'm taking pictures. So we won't be doing any hiking, climbing, or anything like that. It'll be pretty much all on flat ground with not a whole lot of walking. I would like to start at the end of April. I'm going to Longwood Gardens in Pennsylvania, which was just named the #1 garden in the United States. And I'm doing a flower workshop with Kathleen Clemens there. So I won't be available until the end of April. So really what all you need to bring is a camera with a regular lens, a zoom lens. Any lens you have will do. If you have a macro lens, that's fine, but you don't need one. One thing that is really important to have, and if you're going to be a serious flower photographer, you need to have one of these guys, and this is called a diffuser. This is a real fancy one, and it's got all kinds of layers in it, but basically you just use this. And I don't use this one. This is a huge one. I just had my car detailed, and everything in my car is in a box in my garage. So I use a little one that's just 12 inches around. And trying to get this back in the bag is like putting a dozen people in a Volkswagen. But if you're going to be serious about flower photography, you have to have one of these, because sun is your enemy and wind is your enemy. Clouds are your friend. But if it's a sunny day, you're just going to get horrible harsh shadows, and this held over a flower will just beautifully diffuse the light. A tripod if you have one, but again, you don't need one. Something to kneel on or a bench to sit on is helpful. I also bring twist ties with me so I can tie back a errant flower or branch or something that's getting in my way. And a Wimberley plamp is a wonderful device to own. And I have a couple, and you can try them out. There's something that you can attach to your tripod that you can put your hold your diffuser right over your flower. Oh, it's called a Plamp, Plamp, a Wimberley Plamp, and you can buy them on Amazon or you can buy them from the Wimberley website. And what they look like is a big reticulated arm. You can also buy extenders for them, but the arm is about maybe about that long, and it's got clamps on both ends. So you can use one end to hold your much smaller than this diffuser, and attach the other end to your tripod. And then the arm moves every which way. You just direct the diffuser over your flower and you shoot away. They're really cool. And if you have a cable release, that's good too, but you can also use the timer on your camera. So that's a good thing to learn, because when you're taking pictures and you have to hold your diffuser over the flower, or you're holding a background behind your flower, you want to set the timer on your camera or use a cable release so you can get in place and then take your shot. Oh, I forgot to advance my picture, sorry. And that's taken with a lens, baby. That's from the Cleveland Botanical Orchid Show a couple weeks ago. And that's with the lens Baby Velvet 56, which gives a real soft, glowy appearance, which I just love. It is a lens. Yep. And this is a bouquet of fake flowers that's been taken through textured glass, which gives kind of a neat and unusual effect. And that's, I have tons of textured glass, so that's something else that we could try if you're interested. And another thing we're going to try is playing around with macro shots using oil and water. That gives a really, really cool effect like that as you take pictures of the bubbles. And I added a whole bunch of texture to this, so that's why it looks a little liney. But throwing an Alka-Seltzer tablet in with that, you get great results. And that's it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rick Mills, and this is Dave Kursik. We are, I've been a mentor for about 7 years, and in the past 5 years, I've been working with Dennis Wirt, doing the program that we put together, and he decided to do some other things. So Dave has worked with us last year during the program, and he's going to be full-time with us this year. We do teach photography from basic to advanced, and we do it within a 5 outing program. We have, starting on Wednesday, April 9th, is our first teams meeting for the season. And the Monday before that, we will send out a data sheet like this. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it covers everything that we're going to do, the location, directions, what we're going to focus on, things we're going to cover, equipment you should bring. We also send out a video, or we have a technical document section. We send particular items out that you'll need to know about. So on Wednesday, we have a Teams meeting at 7 o'clock. And then the following Saturday, which is April 12th, we have our first outing. And during the outings, we have, like I said, there's 5 outings. So we break up different topics that we want to cover. Everything from the technical use of the camera, which Dave will be taking care of mostly, and the artistic side or the composition side, which I will be working on more than Dave probably. We both do each other type of work. But then on the 12th, we'll have the meeting. We meet at 9 until noon, and we start out assuming you know nothing, and we go from there. We try to figure out what you do know, what you need help on, and we have several other people in our group that usually tag along, Dennis included, and we can have specialized help if you need it. Then the next meeting will be the 16th. And one of these meetings, I have all of them shown here at 9 o'clock till noon. There's going to be one of them, we're not sure which, where we're going to go down to the flats and we'll be doing night photography. We'll be at Heritage Park. And the Wednesday before that outing, we'll prep you, we'll show you all the techniques we use to get night pictures. And it's the Heritage Park is the view of downtown. A lot of times you'll see that on TV. And so we do a wide range of photography, everything from nature, wildlife, lifestyle. And we do, a lot of the shooting we do is down in the national park. And so we'll be combining some of the composition techniques like line shapes and forms, and we'll try to explain to you why we're doing what we're doing, how to set up a picture to take advantage of perspective. We'll show you single point and vanishing point perspective and how to use it to your advantage. That's at Watkins Glen last fall. It was a great trip. Then, let's see. As I say, Dave is going to probably be doing more of the technical work, and he'll start you out with seeing how you're doing with metering, with depth of field. We do a lot of depth of field control, and you'll have to learn back button focus right away because everything we do, we shoot with back button. I'll get into the composition as each outing is building on each other. So it's recommended if you know you're not going to be able to make one of those dates, I suggest you probably find another mentor to go with because it is a structured plan and every outing depends on the one before. So as I say, we're going to be doing everything from lifestyle, nature, wildlife, landscapes, cityscapes. So we cover a wide range, and we have a couple other members of our group that specialize in some unique things, and we may ask them to join us. One of them is in-camera motion, ICM. It's something she's been doing lately a lot of, and it's really nice. So any questions? Yes, sir. Teams. Microsoft Teams. Yeah, we'll send you out a announcement and it has the link. So you just click on that and you're there. So, and that goes out on Wednesdays. Like I said, the data sheet will go out on Mondays and it tells everything that you are hoping to learn and that we're going to be covering and talking about. So any other questions? Okay, here's Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave Korosik. I've been mentoring along with Rick and Dennis Wirt for the last couple of cycles here. We like getting out into the field, and it's all about getting some practice in. I think the program has helped me become a better photographer as a mentee. It's nice to get out with people and learn from others, exchange ideas, get out and look for a composition wherever we're meeting at. My goal was to try and shoot more deliberate because I'd go away on vacation somewhere or down in the Hocking Hills or Holmes County, and I would just kind of spray and pray and come home with thousands of pictures, and then I, get sick of them looking on the computer. And there are times where spray and pray is valid if you're at the air show or you're shooting animals and you want to get it at the right angle. But when you're out at a waterfall, you can take your time, think about it, line up, do your edge patrol, be deliberate about it, and get the best out of camera, and then work on it at home, hopefully not as much editing or end up throwing out a lower percentage than if you'd have taken too many shots. The Teams meetings, it's like Zoom. It's good to get valuable feedback, positive and negative, to see what other people think. We all make mistakes when we're out and about, and it's better to make a mistake down here at Berea Falls where you can go back the next week and try again, or learn when we go to Bedford Falls. And so that if you do have a nice trip down to Hocking Hills or out west or Iceland or someplace exciting, you've got the principles you learned of composition, foreground, midground, background, when you go to someplace more exciting. And you can say, okay, wait a minute, I've seen this before. I can handle this, and hopefully get the shot. So here's an example of some of our work. This was down at Berea Falls. I took a trip out to Colorado. Of course, we won't be doing that in our group, but you know, when I got there, I was like, whoa, okay, I can do this. You know, where's the composition? Where's the mill? And set up a panoramic shot and stitch it together. And this was a group outing down in, it's called Quarry Rock in Solon. And just out and about and find a little detail on the brink of a falls there and zoom in, whatever the opportunity is, take a chance on it. This is the Heritage Park shot Rick was talking about, going down there looking for reflections, getting some nice light.
There's also another view from the same area that you're looking at the swing bridge, the Center Road swing bridge. We've got a lot of students do great work on that shot.
Right. So we try to find some place where there's one or two good shots, and then people explore on their own and hopefully come up with something that we didn't see or didn't think was there. This is down in towards Holmes County, a local waterfall, and taking advantage of the fall colors. And last year we were out and about with Northern Lights. This is in Painesville Township Park in Lake County. So, and then we were all standing out down there, and it's good to have other people around that you know, and they're like, wait a minute, what setting was I supposed to use? And then having a friend there that says, hey, I think you're supposed to take it slower, then helped get the shot. So we want to build your confidence and hopefully improve your skills, and look forward to working on whatever your goals are. You let us know. We've got our kind of setup thing, but there's plenty of hours in the morning to work on whatever it is you're interested in. And on to Dave's. Look forward to working with you. Any questions? Yeah, our first Zoom conference, Teams meeting will be a week from tonight, or when we find out.
So signups are going to begin tonight, and we are cutting off the signups as of Monday at 9 p.m. So it is ambitious, because if they have all of their mentees by Monday at 9 p.m., then we have to turn around and they have to contact each of those mentees and say, you know, we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to be active as of this weekend. So whether or not they get their Teams meeting in, what? Yeah. That may or may not work. We'll see. But they definitely plan to go out, what is it, April 9th for your first one? Yeah, on a Saturday.
So I'm Dave Saborik. If you're looking for structure, you're looking for specific information, and a lot of it, those guys. You can't lose with those guys. They do an awesome job. They're experienced, and they know what they're doing. So highly recommended. I'm more of come along and shoot with me. So, you know, we'll go different places, and tell you what I'm looking for, and I might tell you, if you ask, what camera settings I'm using. But basically, like I said, I'm not specializing in any specific area. And I'm not giving you the strong, structured information that David and Rick would be giving you. So I live in Monroe Falls, but that doesn't matter to you because I will travel all over within an hour or so. I shoot Sony. That doesn't matter to you either. You can shoot whatever kind of camera you want. I don't know anything about your camera, so don't ask. I can tell you I'm at f6.3 and I'm at 100 ISO and whatever. And I can tell you, oh, while we're here, I'm looking for this and I'm looking for that. Like Marge, I love shooting flowers. Tulips are my favorite, actually, and we're coming into that season, so I will definitely be going either to Stan Hewart or up to Cleveland Botanical Gardens. Both have wonderful tulip displays. I'll be going up to Rockefeller Gardens for their irises a little later in the year. I love shooting wildlife. Any kind of wildlife. Do a lot of birds because we're in an area where that's kind of wildlife that's prevalent. I love Sandy Ridge, so we'll be going up to Sandy Ridge sometime. Last couple years, Sandhill Crane colt was born up there, and we got some wonderful pictures of it. I love shooting at the zoo, like Eric. So we'll probably go to the zoo. There's a couple places that I really like for scenic photography. Viaduct Park and Great Falls of Tinkers Creek is one of those places. Virginia Kendall's one of those places. I love shooting people, but I'm not a street photographer, and I don't hold my camera down here and snap away while they're not looking, Richard. But I ask people if I may take their picture, so I go places where people like to have their picture taken. So I go to the medieval fair, and I go to the Civil War encampments, and I go to Parade the Circles coming up in a couple months. And there are other places that I always go. I always go up to McGee Marsh for the biggest week in birding. And so I travel around. I'm retired. I'm open. I can go anytime, but I was thinking maybe, especially on Sundays, since you might be more free on that day, but depending on who's with me and what your schedule is, we can schedule our outings at any time. So I do shoot 3 kinds of lenses. I have a telephoto lens. I have mid-range lens that's my go-to lens, 70 to 300, and I do have a wide-angle lens. And I use a tripod, try to use it indoors as much as possible, and depending on what I'm shooting, I'll use it outside a lot too. Not for flowers so much like the tulips or the irises, but like at Sandy Ridge where I'm looking for a bird that's far away, then I'll try to use my tripod. So, I have pictures. So this was at Parade the Circle, and if you've done this event, you know they always have these large puppet kind of things where stilt walkers put them on, and they're really quite colorful and amazing. So he was doing some last minute repairs with that. Aha. Oh, there we go, Marge. That's an iris at the Rockefeller Greenhouse. Those are tulips at Cleveland Botanical Gardens last year. Those are sandhill cranes at Sandy Ridge. And the zoo's a favorite. Eric will recognize that guy probably. So I enjoy photographing at the zoo also. Okey-doke. Questions? Sure. Thank you.
Okay, our next team is Bruce Orr and Karen Isaac. And unfortunately, neither of them were able to make it here tonight. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about them and about what they are offering. And then Kim will follow up and talk about them more personally, since she knows them better than I do. They are going to be doing a program this round in black and white. So keep that in mind. If you are specifically interested in black and white photography, then you should definitely sign up with Bruce and Karen this round, because that's what they're going to be focusing on. Their photographic interests, Karen has selected nature, birds, and flowers. Availability, weekends and some weeknights. They are outdoor, walking, hiking. They are looking for beginners. Okay, that is not Karen. That is Bruce. But I'm going to continue here. Let me see. I know how to go backwards. There she is. All right. And these are some of her photos. Again, black and white are the ones that they submitted. They both obviously love photography, love teaching. They've been a very successful team in the past. I know several people who have mentored with them and really learned a lot and enjoyed the experience. So I'm going to keep this brief. Let me move backwards here. Here are some of her other photos. Yeah. Cat. We actually have a special category in the end of year competition for pets. So do keep that in mind if you have a cat or a dog. That is a special award that the club gives. I'm not sure goats are included. And I think that might be the last one. Yes. All right, so let's go back to Bruce. Okay. By the way, Karen shoots Nikon, and Bruce shoots Fuji or Canon, also nature, also weekends mostly, but some weeknights as well. So almost pretty much the same, beginner and intermediate. And let's just take a look at his pictures, and then I'll turn the mic over to Kim. Okay. Any questions about their logistics? No? All right. Kim?
Hi, I'm Kim Vashaleski, and oh, what? Oh, I have to stand here. Oh. I had Bruce for a mentor last round, and I've met Karen because we all took a field trip to the Goat Derby. If you haven't been to that yet, lots. It's the same day as the Kentucky Derby, but it's the goats that are racing. It's pretty fun. It's crazy, and they wear hats. Anyway, so I had Bruce the last round, and I picked him because I'm a portrait photographer. He is not, but I told him I'd give a testimony because he has his buddy Rosemary she had him as a mentor, and she like just took off after that, and just her skills and everything. And I told him, I said, I want to be the next Rosemary. So even though he doesn't do portraits, so I learned so much from him. I cannot begin to tell you how much I learned. And we didn't do a single portrait, but I applied it to what I do. And he also was really good at helping you spend your money on gear. So just a warning. We we did Sunday mornings when yeah, you were in Bruce's group. Yeah. It was just fun. And he's just a really nice guy, and Karen's just super kind, and he's just a good teacher. So, and that's what you want in a mentor. So I just wanted to give a testimony since he's not here to charm you himself. So
Okay, next up is Brian O'Riordan.
Okay. I'm Brian O'Riordan. I've been a member of the club since 2008. Some people here will say that in that time I've actually learned something about photography. Other people might not agree with that. Nonetheless, I keep trying to learn. And most of my photography is what I would call generalist and opportunistic. I like taking pictures of just about everything. And the pictures that I'm going to show you are not intended to show you how great my photography is. They're more intended to show you how diverse it is and some of the interests I have. As far as flexibility goes, almost unlimited. If you and I can figure out a time to get together to talk about your images, that is pretty much how I like to do the mentoring. I like to sit down with you, talk about your images, go through the settings, go through possibilities that you might have for different compositions, and try to come up with ways that you can experiment to try to find out what you like better about your photography and getting it and making it a little bit better. It's all about communication. You want your photo to show something to some people. So you have to consider the audience. You have to consider what it is that you want to convey. I'm in Brecksville, but I'm mobile. I'm a generalist. And I guess that's about what I have to say, but let me show you some pictures. Okay. Now, you look at this, and in a lot of ways, this is a pretty good picture. But in a lot of ways, it breaks a lot of rules. And I ought to explain that a little bit. First of all, as far as what it did right, formation is taken in a way that the airplanes don't cross. They've got a lot of they're perfectly in line. They look really good, and that's fine. But what about all this stuff on the left side? Everything in the frame is over on the right, and any judge will tell you a bad thing to do. Well, look at the aspect ratio of the photo, and now tell me, why did I do that? It's the background on my computer screen. And all my little icons for the computer screen sit over here. So this is a very personal photo. This is obviously a wind farm. It's in a place that's very beautiful. This is the only picture I've ever been able to take of a beautiful wind farm. This was designed, there are lots of different ways that you can look for good photography. And there's a lot of rules. And usually, if you're shooting birds, you want to get their eyes. You can get a good picture of a bird from another angle. You don't always have control of the setting and the light and what's going on around you. But this is street photography, and this was in Bergen, Norway. And to me, I look at this and I can remember 20, 30 different things about Bergen, all referenced in that particular photo. And again, this is a personal photo. I used to do that. I did this as kind of an exercise in mood, and it was in black. It was in color, and I decided to see if it might work out in black and white, and I thought I'd like it better in color. I'm fond of good art. I'm fond of the Dutch masters. I'm Okay, there we go. I'm fond of Dutch masters and the way that they use light, and I decided I sat in my breakfast room and saw this light streaming in the window, and I said, And I had some old dead flowers, and I put them in a bowl and put them in the light and put some background behind them and did something that I just kind of enjoyed doing. And every once in a while, I like transformations, usually numerical ones if you're taking a regular photo and making it into an orb or doing some other types of geometric machinations. This particular one was just a grove of trees. And I decided I like symmetry. I wanted to see what symmetry could bring out in this or create in this. And there's only 2 bits of modification that I did to this entire thing. And you can see them right up at the top there. There's 2 little red dots that might be taken for eyes. But I like to experiment. Any questions? Yes, sir. Basically, it's Photoshop. All this is you crop, fold, and play with it. Okay.
Hello, I'm Eric Botsky. I've been taking pictures for about 15 years, but not as seriously as I have in the last 4. And my style of photography is what I would call zoo portraiture. I like going to the zoo and getting the facial expressions of the animals or them doing something interesting, but making it look artistic. I take pride in the fact that I know the tips and tricks to, at least at the Cleveland Zoo, to hide the fact that they're in a zoo. My plan is to go to the zoo Sunday mornings, and then the following Sunday, or another day that works better for everyone, go over the pictures in a Teams meeting. Give tips, tricks on how to edit, and critique each other's pictures. And then do that a few times, maybe going to other zoos besides just Cleveland, but we'll see how things go. I'd like to take beginners, but if you really are interested in zoo photography, I will take anyone. I do work, so evenings and weekends are really my only free time, and the zoo is only open on weekends during those 2 times, so kind of stuck there. I use Canon mirrorless, but I'm very technologically inclined. I'm actually a helper of the website and was the one who did 75% of the work that you can see online for the mentorship program, with the help of our wonderful webmaster. So I can help with any other camera, as long as you have the manual, or I can find the manual, honestly. So. And I use Photoshop with Topaz filters. Topaz AI filters, but primarily Photoshop, and usually I don't go much beyond just camera raw. This is one of my favorite pictures of the Amur leopard Edgar. Fall is one of my favorite fall and winter are my favorite times to go shooting at the zoo, honestly. The colors are pop, the snow adds dimension, and just makes it different than what you would see. That and also the animals I particularly like, the big cats. They like like colder weather. The snow leopards do not like the snow, but that's okay. I will show you. We'll see the giraffes as well, and the zebras and the ostriches. But again, you can see zoo portraiture. My favorite animals are snow leopards. I can tell you anything you want to know about the snow leopards at the Cleveland Zoo, the Toledo Zoo, the Akron Zoo. It's my special passion, and I will spend lots of time taking pictures of them, but we will not. I will see them, I will show you some tips that I know, and then we will go on to whatever you are interested at the zoo. The red pandas are also very cute. I like his little bleh. They are a trick to capture on camera. They really are. They either move a lot or they hide. This is one of the tiger cubs that are now all grown up, but this was from last year. I do not know if that is the male or the female. I just know it's one of the cubs. If anyone is wanting to, he is in Toledo. His name is Murphy, and he is my absolute favorite animal to take pictures of. He was climbing the tree and just posed. And I should have put in the before just to show you what I can help you do with Photoshop, because that is not what that looked like originally. And this is a little bribe. You will see. Her name is Suhani? I'm not actually sure how it's pronounced, but we'll call her Sue. She is the baby sloth bear at the zoo right now. She is 3 months old, weighs about 9 pounds, I think is what they told me on Saturday. And she was just shown to the public on last Friday. So we will definitely be taking pictures of her. The only special requirements is a lens that reaches at least 200 millimeters is helpful. But I know people who take wide angle lenses and can take amazing pictures. I am not one of them, but I know it is possible. I personally use a monopod, but that's just because I like to keep the camera on target for as long as possible and wait for that perfect moment. Not everyone has that patience, and not everyone has as weak arms as I do when carrying a large lens. So, any questions? My personal lens is 100 to 500 Canon. I used to use 150 to 600, but it's heavier and not quite as nice. I have used, I rented it for a trip to Africa. I've used 100 to 300 2.8. That's a little bit cumbersome, but it is honestly a perfect zoo lens. Yes? I recommend a membership. Depending on how many people come, I do have a dual membership and can let one person in on my dime membership each time. Does my camera have special focusing? It does, but it doesn't really matter in the zoo. They're not moving fast enough to need special autofocus or tracking abilities most of the time. Sue is kind of a special case at the zoo, but she is young and a baby and acts just like a human baby will. Does not want to sit still for the camera. And we would be going first thing in the morning because that is when they're open. When they open at 10 o'clock, that is when the animals are actually most active. You probably have all been to the zoo at noon in the middle of summer. Everything is asleep. And I know from experience that is also true when they are not at zoos. So. I would start either the Sunday after we release the mentor-mentee matchups or the weekend after that. The number of times is really up to everyone. I'll be honest, I'm going with you or without you. So, not necessarily rain. Rain gets I've had bad times with rain and cameras, but definitely sun, slightly overcast. I can read the weather well enough to know when I should leave. If it snows, yes, I will be there. I hope it doesn't snow again, but. And yes, we will critique in a Teams meeting whenever works best for everyone. If that's skipping a week going to the zoo and doing it Sunday mornings, we can do that, or a day in the evening during the week. I will show you how I would edit your pictures. You can show me how you would edit mine if you so choose. Any other questions? Okay, now I'm going to change the screen and there's going to be a QR code. If you give me 5 minutes, that QR code will take you to the sign-up forms to request your mentor. It will take 5 minutes because this went about 30 minutes faster than we all predicted, and the timer has not run out on the website. So,
Thank you. Thank you to all of the mentors who came tonight to present. Let's give them a round. And also, so now's the moment you've been waiting for. So you have 7 groups to select from, and we ask that you go ahead and give a first, second, and third choice. That is very important because, as a couple of the mentors said, they're only going to take possibly a few. We're not going to tell you how many they're going to take, but if they fill up and you've only put down 1, then you're out of the program if you only had 1 there. So go ahead and give a first, second, and third choice. And also just keep in mind, got a lot of talent up here tonight, and passion and commitment. They are volunteers. They are doing this because as CPS members, the whole motto is photographers helping photographers. And that's what this program is all about. So if there are any other questions, I think we're ready. You can scan your barcode. Well, no. Wait for Eric. But it's great to see so many people here. I think that this is going to be a wonderful round this spring. We just need some good weather. So keep your fingers crossed for nice weather. All right. Thank you. Eric will let you know when the sign up is live and you can start submitting your choices. And thank you all for coming.